Hi, greetings to everyone. Welcome back to my channel Physics Magic by Habib. Today I am going to give a very important weapon to fight with the final NEET examination. As I promised you, the physics important formula list I am going to give you, and surely this formula list will help you a lot. Motion in a straight line is a very big lesson. Regularly, nearly in 5-6 pages, you will get the whole information. But I am making it for you only in 2 pages. Now, why late? Take pen and paper, note down all these formulae, and use this weapon to get the success in NEET war. Mainly, these formulae will directly help you. If you learn these formulae properly, your work is very simple. The given data you have to substitute in this formula and you have to simply calculate. Almost all important formulae are kept at one place. If you really daily if you study these 1-2 pages, surely you can solve any question from kinematics. This is my hope. Now let us start. Now the first simple formula, speed is equal to distance traveled by time. You know well, average speed is total distance traveled by total time taken, and instantaneous speed is equal to limit delta t tends to 0, delta s by delta t is equal to ds by dt. But these are all fundamental formulae, but this is a very useful formula. The next one, if a particle covers the first half of the total distance with a speed a and second half with speed b, then average speed is equal to 2ab by a plus b. So very clear question it is. A value will be given in the exam, b value will be given, then simply you substitute those two in this, you will be getting the answer. Then the next formula, instead of half, if 1/3 of the total distance with a speed a, second 1/3 of the distance with a speed b, and a third 1/3 of the distance with speed c, then the formula is 3abc by ab plus bc plus ca. Simply a, b, c values will be given, and those you have to substitute and calculate. Look at this, how simple I made it. And this is simply a conversion. If speed or velocity is given in kilometer per hour, then to convert it into meter per second, you have to write there 1 kilometer per hour place, you write 5/18 meter per second. Then average velocity is also simple formula, net displacement by total time taken. Then if a body moving with uniform acceleration, average velocity is u plus v by 2. You know well where u is initial velocity and v is final velocity. The next formula, if a particle undergoes a displacement s1 along a straight line t1 and a displacement s2 in time t2 in the same direction, then average velocity is equal to s1 plus s2 by t1 plus t2. So along a straight line, it covers s1 displacement in t1 time and s2 in t2 time in the same direction. Then he will ask average velocity. Simply substitute s1, s2, t1, t2 values in this formula and you will get the answer. Then the next important formula, if a particle undergoes a displacement s1 along a straight line with velocity v1 and a displacement s2 with v2 in the same direction, then average velocity is equal to. The above formula, when displacement and time is given, you have to use that formula. In terms of time, if velocities are given, you have to use this formula. See how simple I made it. Simply S1 V1 S2 V2 values will be given, and if you know the formula, no need of any derivation, simply substitution and calculation. Then the next formula, if a particle travels the first half of the displacement along a straight line with velocity V1 and the next half of the displacement with velocity V2 in the same direction, then average velocity is equal to 2v1 v2 by v1 plus v2. Very simple. So similarly, if particle travels for a time t1 with velocity v1, for a time t2 with velocity v2 in the same direction, then average velocity is equal to v1 t1 plus v2 t2 by t1 plus t2. Here v1 value will be given, t1 value will be given, v2 t2 will be given. Just your work is substitution. So next 13th formula, if a particle travels first half of the time with velocity v1, another very important formula in terms of not displacement, but he gave in terms of time. If in terms of displacement means you wrote already 2v1 v2 by v1 plus v2. Instead of distance, time is given, then you have to use this formula to find out average velocity. Remember, these two are very important formulae, but if displacement is given 2v1 v2 by v1 plus v2, if half of the time he has given like this, then you can use the formula v1 plus v2 by 2. Similarly, when a body moves with uniform acceleration along a straight line and has a distance x traveled in the nth second, in the next second it travels a distance x plus a, where a is acceleration. Now simply if you know multiplication, division and addition, subtraction, you are getting all these answers. Now the next one is, if a body starts from rest and moves with uniform acceleration a, and if dm is the distance travelled by it in mth second and dn is a distance travelled in nth second, then a is equal to, how simple, dm will be given, dn will be given, n value, m value will be given. Then to find out acceleration, very simple formula, you can use a dn minus dm by n minus m. One page over, almost half of the lesson over. Now we moved into the second page. 15th formula, for a particle moving with uniform velocity, a is equal to 0. Uniform velocity means there is no change in the velocity, so acceleration becomes 0. In that case, s is equal to ut or s is proportional to t. This formula you can use happily. Then 16th formula, for a particle moving with uniform retardation along a straight line, distance travelled before coming to rest is s is equal to u square by 2a. Here you didn't do anything, you substituted 0 in v square minus u square is equal to 2a s formula, you got this one. Now another question is, here only you can write s1 by s2 is equal to u1 square by u2 square in two different cases if acceleration is same. Then next formula, if a particle travels along a straight line with uniform acceleration and travels distance sn and sn plus 1 in 2 successive seconds, then acceleration of the particle, sn value will be given, n plus 1 value will be given. Then acceleration to find, use this formula, a is equal to n plus 1 minus sn. So n is, for example, in 2 successive seconds means first second, immediately next second. This is called successive seconds. In that case you can use this formula. Now the next important formula is, if a particle travels along a straight line with uniform acceleration and travels a distance s and s dash in two successive intervals of n seconds each, then acceleration of the particle. Question will be framed as it is in the exam. Instead of s and s dash, the values will be given and n value will be given. Your job is just substituting that formula, that values in this formula, you will be getting the answer. Then 19th formula, moving with uniform acceleration from rest, a body attains a velocity v after a displacement x, then its velocity becomes nv after a further displacement of n square minus 1 into x. Then you have to do a small derivation, but you can remember this formula and definitely it will help you. Now the next one is very important, the 20th one. Repeatedly this question is asked in earlier examinations. A bullet loses 1 by nth of its velocity while passing through a plank. The number of such planks required to just stop the bullet is equal to n square by 2n minus 1. So when it is passing through a plank, it loses some velocity as plank opposes its motion. Now another plank, it will reduce its velocity some more. Then another plank if you keep, it will reduces its velocity some more. Like that, if you use some blocks, finally the bullet becomes to rest. Then how many such planks are required to completely stop the bullet is this formula you can use. So he will give 1 by half of its velocity. So in place of n you have to write 2. 1/3 of its velocity. In place of n you can write 3. 1/4 of its velocity. In place of n you can write 4. Like this you can use. And same 21 formula is also like that only, but with a small change is there. The velocity of a body becomes 1 by nth of its initial velocity after a displacement of x, then it will come to rest after a further displacement of x by n square minus 1. Then freely falling body cases given here. Then you can do all these. A freely falling body in 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 4 second, so on n second are in the ratio 1 square plus 1 square is 2, 2 square is 2, 3 square is 2, 4 square, like this. But how we got, you can easily understand this because these are all well known formulae to you. Now the next application is very important. A freely falling body passes through 2 points A and B in time interval of t1 and t2 from the start. Then the distance between the 2 points is given by AB is equal to g by 2 into t2 square minus t1 square. He will give t1 value, t2 value. So two different, same question will be framed as it is. For example, a freely falling body passes through 2 points A and B in the time interval of 2 seconds and 4 seconds from the start. Then the distance between 2 points is given by, question will be given like that. So t1 is 2, t2 is 4. Simply you substitute in this formula, you can get the answer. How simple it is, you only see. Similarly, freely falling body passes 2 points A and B. Instead of time, heights are given or distances are given. Then to find out this, a freely falling body passes through 2 points A and B, distant h1 and h2 from the start. Then the time taken by it to move from A to B is given by t is equal to, you know the formula, time of freely falling body is under root 2h by g. So time difference is asking. So t is equal to t2 minus t1. So simply substituted and we got that formula. Here also h1 value will be given, h2 value will be given. He will ask directly time. So you can substitute that here. Then Another important point in this one, two bodies are dropped from heights h1 and h2 simultaneously, then after any time the distance between them is equal to h2 minus h1. Simple direct formula. Then a stone is dropped into a well of depth h, then the sound of splash is heard after a time t is given by. Very important questions. Earlier many competitive examinations this question is asked. Here also h value will be given, depth of the well will be given, and time will be given. Then velocity of sound he may ask, or velocity of sound will be given, time will be given, h will be asked. But anything you can use this formula. If you remember, t is equal to under root 2h by g plus h by velocity of sound. Then another important formula, a stone is dropped into a river from bridge, and after x second another stone is projected down into the river from the same point with a velocity u. If both the stones reach the water simultaneously, then the first one is freely falling body, like so half gt square only, its direct distance travelled by that one is half gt square. But second one, what happened for the second other stone projected from the same point with velocity u? If both stones reach the water simultaneously, means t is first one travels t time, then second one travels t minus x time, because x time later it is dropped. So you both travel the same distance formula you know well, s is equal to ut plus half at square. Then first one is freely falling body, that's why we have taken only half gt square. But second stone is it is thrown with a velocity u, or it is projected with a velocity u, that's why ut plus half at square formula we used, as both travel the same distance, both are equated. Then next question, next point is also very important. The time of flight of a body thrown up vertically with a velocity u is 2u by g, maximum height is u square by 2g. This all you have learned in your regular PU classes. So you remember all those formulae, and 100% you will solve the questions based on that formula. Similarly, h max formula is given. In different cases you can compare the maximum height. Similarly, time of ascent, time of descent is equal to u by g, and the total time of flight is equal to ta plus td is equal to 2u by g. U by g plus u by g is 2u by g. There we got a relation also. T is directly proportional to u. The reason is here g is a constant. Then next formula, if an object is dropped from a balloon rising up with a velocity u at a height h, then equation of motion relative to earth is h is equal to half gt square minus ut. It is also you have learned in your regular classes that the body is vertically projected from the top of a tower, then height of the tower will be equal to h is equal to minus ut plus half gt square. So it is also similar to that one, so you can remember this formula also. Then equation of motion relative to the balloon is h is equal to half g plus ab t square, where ab is acceleration of the balloon. So directly formulae I made as a ready-made formulae. The AB value will be given, you have to substitute. T value will be given, you have to substitute. You can find out the height from there. So similarly, u square by 2g into n square minus 1. So like that, depending on the data given, you can use these formulae. Then another formula, a body is thrown vertically upwards with a velocity u. From the ground reaches a point P on its path at height h after a time t1 and t2 from the beginning. Then initial velocity u is equal to g by 2 into t1 plus t2. Then in that sometimes he may ask from what height, then you can use the formula h is equal to half g t1 t2. Very important formula, previously asked question here. So body thrown vertically upwards with a velocity u from ground reaches a point P on its path at a height h after a time t1 and t2 from the beginning. Means what? While going up, it crosses point P, then it went up, then when it is returning back, once again it crosses P point at a time t2. So both are taken from the beginning only. In that case, to find out initial velocity or height, these formulae you can use. And the next one is a particle projected vertically up from the top of a tower takes t1 second to reach the ground. Another particle thrown downwards with the same velocity from the top of tower takes t2 seconds to reach the ground. If particle dropped from the top of the tower, the time taken is t, then t is equal to, directly here also t1 will be given, t2 will be given, then he may ask time taken, total time taken, t he may ask, or height of the tower he may ask, or velocity of projection u he may ask. By using this simple formulae, you can use any of the question, any of the data he is asking, you can find. Then a body is dropped from the top edge of a tower of height h, and at the same time another body is projected vertically up from the foot of the tower with velocity u. Look at the data. Tower height is given and one is dropped, so its initial velocity is 0. Second body is projected from the foot of the tower, so its velocity is given u. Then questions directly they will ask like this. They will meet after a time of t is equal to h by u, and the distance of h1 is equal to half gt square, but t is h by u, you can substitute. So these are all the values you can find. If you read one by one, you can easily find out those are all. And similarly, another two important applications in this one, an elevator is accelerating upwards with an acceleration a. If a person inside the elevator throws a particle vertically up with a velocity u relative to the elevator, then time of flight is t is equal to 2u by g plus a. The reason is effective acceleration becomes now g plus a. If it is down, then it becomes a g minus a. So these are all about motion in a straight line. In a simple 2.5 pages, I gave almost all the formulae. So if you learn these formulae, 100% you can solve any question from the motion in a straight line. But this is not 100% explanation of total lesson, but only to score some good marks in physics. I am just explaining like this. Definitely it will be useful, but it is not 100% a remedy for solving your physics problem. Definitely it will help up to some extent. So let us meet in our next video, that is motion in a plane. Goodbye, good luck. Practice all these formulae, 100% you will get very good marks. Good luck.